Good morning, Awoken. Happy Purple Friday. We got our purple on today, and we are reporting live once again outside of George Washington University Hospital, where Mitch McConnell is nearing the end of the third week of his hospitalization here at the hospital. Once again, a pretty critical time in American politics. We have a lot to go over today, some critical updates we've learned about the story since we were here on Wednesday, on Awoken Wednesday. A lot of big stuff going on politically in the United States. And some, again, we have more questions that have been conceived simply from even Wednesday. Overnight or early this morning, we see there has been a newly released video of the senator being loaded onto the ambulance at his DC residency on June 14th. Did not look good. Several EMS personnel, hospital personnel loading the senator into the ambulance outside of his DC residency on June 14th. Didn't seem to be like in a rush kind of either, which was kind of weird. Not sure what that really means. You'd think if, oh my gosh, he's not doing well, he's in cardiac arrest, CPR has been performed, you'd think you'd want to get him to a hospital immediately. Did not seem that they were in a huge rush to do that, but not a medical expert. Maybe there was some precautions or methods used that I'm unsure about. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the public's reaction to Senator McConnell's hospitalization as well. Lots of political conversation. We've seen members of the GOP. Indiana Congressman Marlin Sutsman cannot confirm or deny if the senator is alive. Other members of the GOP in the United States Congress have made comments about him ranging essentially from, we're wishing him well, but we really don't know how he's doing. The office hasn't told us anything, and still, since Wednesday, office has been quite mum on his condition, but we are here live outside of the George Washington Hospital where Mitch McConnell is allegedly receiving care and treatment. So Fred's Lady says, good morning. Good morning, Fred's Lady. Beautiful day out here, beautiful July day. It is July 10th. And the Senate will return July 13th, I believe on Monday. The Senate heads back in session after a 2-week recess, a 2-week pause of the chamber's official duties. And this is big because the Appropriations Committee now remains tied at 14 apiece with McConnell's absence. Critical appropriation bills cannot pass during his absence, whether he remains incapacitated or at least unable to vote at a minimum. So that's going to cause a government shutdown to come October. If this does not get resolved here in the next short period of time, we are heading towards a second government shutdown in a row, second year in a row that the government will be shut down if he is unable to return. So there's just much more than his personal health at stake. We're talking about the government being able to function as an institution is also on the line here. What's more, if he passes away, the governor cannot appoint somebody to take care of the seat for the time being. There has to be a special election that has to be certified, and then after certification, that's when the winning individual can take the seat. That's going to take several months from now. So we're looking at a pretty big crisis for the federal government heading our way. Okay, let's see. Jessica King says hello and good morning. Good morning, Jessica. Thank you for joining the stream. And hello, Dominique. How are you doing today? Good morning to you. Hello from Washington, D.C. We're here live outside of Mitch McConnell's hospital. We're going to be here for the stream today around Foggy Bottom. Once again, good morning to all of you. Just a little bit about myself and the channel. My name is Aulden S. Nance. Started this channel a little over half a year ago now. We're here live in Washington, D.C. most weekdays. A lot of times we're on Capitol Hill. We're talking to members of Congress, fighting for transparency and accountability for your government. And we take that very seriously. We take this role very seriously, and this is a very serious channel. So would love if you guys are for politics, transparency, accountability in Washington, D.C., make sure to leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We are here once again live outside of the emergency room, the hospital where Mitch McConnell has been staying for coming in on a month now, about 4 weeks. The senator from Kentucky has stayed here. This follows an 8-day stay in the ICU back in February. The office reported, said his condition back then was for flu-like symptoms. This time we're not getting any update or condition update. We've just been told that he's in the hospital. The office is saying he's doing well and recovering. And everybody, including your mother, has had a 20-minute conversation with him talking about national security matters, elections, the Iran war, your daughter's wedding, everything in between. So the questions are growing on why can't the senator release a 30-second video saying how well he's doing? So the questions are piling up for McConnell and company, and it's going to blow over to the Senate Republicans next week. Trust me, we are going to hold them accountable. We are going to be talking to them and asking them questions about what's going on with Senator McConnell, what's going on with your colleague. We will also ask the Democrats that question as well. But we will fight for transparency and accountability when it comes to his condition, because it's unacceptable that we have this little information, this just tiny amount of info as of right now. But once again, we are live outside of the George Washington University Metro and the hospital. So you got the Metro right here. You'll have patrons, pedestrians coming in and out of this neighborhood area all day today. Old Trick says he's a traitor. And all right, guys, we got a $5 super chat from the Colonel. Everyone heart that, leave that a like as well. The Colonel, one of my moderators, one of the most loyal viewers and supporters to the Awoken channel, has been a big help, and we would not be here without the Colonel's support as being a moderator, financial support as well. So we want to give a big shout out and a thanks to the Colonel for his $5 super chat. We are very thankful for the Colonel. Thank you, brother. Always enjoy chatting with you in the Discord. That's awesome, man. Thank you for the super chat. Not My Circus says woke or awake. We are awake. We are awoken. It's awake just in the past tense. Essentially, someone who's not awake sees the content, sees the channel. After watching for a little bit, they become awoken and they wake up to the corruption and the truth about Washington, D.C. and our political system. So we're building a mass awakening that demands transparency and accountability for our government. There we go. Yep. Yeah, we got to get awoken. Yep. So yeah, what's going on? Not My Circus. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. That's right. And Paul just said it best. Paul said, we are not woke, we are awake. And we're going to make that the pinned comment for a little bit, Paul. Let's go. Good morning, Paul. Cola Guy 101, USA flag. What's going on, Cola Guy 101? Thanks for hopping into the stream. We're here live right outside of Mitch McConnell's hospital. We're going to be here for a little bit today. Uh-oh. Looks like someone's about to join him in the hospital. Yeah, that's going to happen a little bit today. Just a reminder, this is still an active hospital, so we want to be careful about, we can film the ambulance, but we don't want to film patients exiting the ambulance. That would be a little rude and inappropriate. So, yeah, just a reminder, this is still an active little scene, if that makes sense. So we still want to be mindful of other people. So yeah, we're not going to go inside. Yeah, we're not going to talk as staff. We'll let other people do that if they feel the need to. Kenobi says Washington, D.C. needs a do-over. Hey, man, welcome back to the stream. Thank you for joining once again. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of a makeover. The Union Fountain in front of Union Station, that got a nice makeover. That Union Station is looking much better than it did a year ago. Especially when I got here about 3.5 years ago, it was not a place you really wanted to be, honestly, much. Inside was okay, but outside and near that fountain, you did not really want to stay there very long. Not a great spot. Yes, Circus, your people are here. We are leading a mass awakening, and we are building a special political movement here. We are free speech absolutists, so no matter what your beliefs are, you're welcome to chat on the channel, hang out with us, debate politics with us. We are tolerant of all views. Just make sure you're not preaching violence or anything illegal, then we're going to be okay. What my old name says, good morning, America. Here is from Maurice Island in Africa. What's going on, man? Hope you're enjoying your morning coffee, brother. And then, yeah, Paul says, good morning. Yeah, good morning to you, brother. And Ricky Smith, 87, says, breaking news. President Trump has fired all Democratic members of the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, leaving Democrats in shock. Damn, that is breaking news. I haven't heard that yet. Thank you for the update. Ricky Smith, 87, hope you're doing well. Happy Purple Friday to you. We are here live right outside of Mitch McConnell's hospital. We're going to be here for a little bit today. Hey, Kurt, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining the stream. Hope you're doing well in Australia. Nice to see you again on the live stream. Plans for today, we're going to be hanging out here around Mitch McConnell's hospital. The Kentucky senator is entering his, nearing his 4th week in the hospital with very minimal and shallow updates from his office. We have heard from Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, and Kentucky GOP operative and political commentator Scott Jennings that they have all had about 20-minute conversations with the senator, but we're really, we're a little skeptical of those. You know, just ask some questions. That's what we do on this channel. But, you know, he's well enough for these long and lengthy, in-depth policy conversations, but he cannot release a 30-second video reassuring the public that he is healthy and proving, which is odd. You'd think yeah, the thing is, questions are only going to mount further and further from here. It's only going to get a little more challenging for this story to be contained. We saw overnight, and this morning, a video was released from a neighbor on June 14th of McConnell being loaded into on a stretcher, loaded into the ambulance, and presumably transported to this hospital here in Foggy Bottom at George Washington University. We know the senator has also, this is his second stay of the year. He had an 8-day stay back in February in the ICU over what his office describes as flu-like symptoms. So he is a frequent guest at this hospital now. He's been here nearly a month, and the Senate returns to work on Monday. The Senate will head back in session after the July 4th recess, and they will be voting and conducting committee business, presumably without McConnell there. The thing is, the updates have been so minimal, we don't really know if he plans on returning to work this next week. Okay, so, yeah, I'm doing well, Kurt. Thank you, brother. Terrence thinks McConnell's dead already. That's what some people are saying. Primal Scream says he's brain dead. What else? Yeah, we've heard that as well, but we're getting very minimal detail and confirmation. Right now, that is just reporting from Laura Loomer and other independent journalists as well. So I can't confirm that, as it is speculation, but at a minimum, it seems he's not really improving or doing well, as Congressman Marlin Sutsman added the other day. Jacksonville Kid, hey, what's going on? Nice to see you again, brother. Says, okay, Jacksonville Kid said Bernie Sanders stood on business and said, no, Graham Plattner, you Democratic Nazi Jew hater, the Democratic Party is not for you. Graham Plattner ends U.S. Senate campaign in Maine. He did drop, he suspended his campaign, which I've heard he hasn't officially removed himself from the ballot, though, which is kind of a little surprising. Maybe he's trying to ensure that his preferred candidate takes his spot. So he's just playing hardball. And the thing is, I don't think they can legally remove him, right? He won the primary election. He got the most votes in Maine primary history last month in June. So I don't think that they can legally just remove him. He does have the blessing of the voters to be their nominee. What makes it challenging for him, though, is that the party and the regime has ceased funding. They've pulled the financial plug on him, and that makes it incredibly challenging, especially when Collins remains backed by GOP establishment and the party apparatus. She'll have a boatload of cash to spend, to where he'll be relying on individual donors, which simply over time can't compete with that. So I think the Dems, they're going to get rid of him one way or the other. Let's see. Good morning, Bear. How's it going, brother? Thank you, Kurt. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, Kurt, it's been fun having you as a recurring viewer the last week or so. Yeah, it's very nice having you. Oh, let's see what else is going on. Mud Butter says, hopefully the right is man enough to do the same. Doubt it, though. In terms of trying to get McConnell to resign, you think? Or Graham Plattner? So let's go through a little bit of timeline for Mitch McConnell. We know he's had several health episodes and incidents over the last 2 to 3 years in particular. I'm sure the one that really made people start questioning what's going on is after the GOP luncheon on Capitol Hill. In the Capitol, he was speaking about something, and he just totally froze up and kind of got stuck. Yeah, it's almost like, the battery turned off. Yeah, battery turned off on a child's toy. And he just kind of stopped moving and talking. So I think that was the first major episode that made people kind of go like, whoa, what's going on here? And then he froze up again in Kentucky at a press conference while in his home state, his home Commonwealth of Kentucky. He had another freezing incident. A reporter was asking him about if McConnell was going to run again in 2026, and he froze a second time in public. So the public appearances after that really began to dwindle and decline. He has fallen a couple of times as well this year that we know of, and the 8-day ICU stay back in February. So, not a great, a lot of issues for the longtime Kentucky senator, to say the least. And then now you have this incident in June where it's been nearly a month now. The senator has been here at George Washington University Hospital, which we are live outside of again. We are live outside of the hospital once again. Got National Guard here doing their duties, keeping everyone safe. We're going to try to find McConnell's, the Capitol Police detail that has to stay here and protect him. They are responsible for his safety. And it's got to be on this block or two. So we're going to go look and make sure that the Capitol Police detail is still here. Mork asks, would you rather fight Donald J. Trump or an undead George Washington? You know what? Just for it, let's fight George Washington. Yeah. I mean, just get one punch to the jaw, his wooden teeth will fall out. So that could cause him some, kind of like Mike Tyson. Everyone has to play until they get punched in the mouth. Let's go with George W. And the winner of that fight will be the new face of the $1 bill, actually. So if I win, your $1 bill will turn purple. Good question, Mork. Thanks for the fun Friday question. Kurt says, I'm worried for the next election for USA, Trump running in 28 or someone running new. The thing is, I don't think there's going to be the political, I don't see him running again, and legally he can't. He just simply can't. When he mentions he's going to run in 28, he's more or less trolling, more than anything. So I wouldn't read too much into that. So we got, Jacksonville says, I'm not worried with shitbags like Graham Plattner not running. Yeah, he doesn't really impact us all that much, right? The question is who they're going to replace him with and if that candidate is a threat. But something else about Graham Plattner, what you guys have to understand is that this was an attack on him. The Schumer and company never really liked him that much. And remember, the stuff with the Nazi tattoo, all of the assault allegations, the old Reddit posts, the kick messages, other women saying he's creepy around him or around them. Ultimately, none of that stopped him from getting the most votes ever in Maine Senate primary history. So the voters were willing to look past all of that stuff. So this most recent allegation was most certainly almost a political decapitation more than anything. The Chuck Schumer would rather have, and why is that? Because Plattner is not a regime candidate. He's not an establishment figure. So Chuck Schumer would rather have Susan Collins and there another 6 years than have a Democrat that he can't control. So that's what this is really about. It's not really even about the allegations, because the voters are much more willing to look past some of this personal misconduct than they were even a decade ago, right? Voters, I think, have grown almost, what's the word? What's a good word for that? Not desensitized, but, it's like when you sleep on your arm and you can't feel anything. Almost like just willing to look past this stuff now. And the voters in Maine were for the primary. They were given other candidates. Janet Mills, the incumbent governor of the state, was running in the primary, and she had to drop out back in Maine because her campaign finances dried out and she had no support. So just keep that in mind. So this was a political decapitation. I think it's really, the allegations were already there. People knew about them. So that's what I'd say about that. What's going on, Mr. Good Citizen? Thank you for joining Thank you for joining the stream today. Great to see you, brother. Yeah, we are here live outside of George Washington Hospital, where Mitch McConnell is allegedly receiving treatment. Here, we're going to get to the front of the metro. So yeah, you have houses right here. So it is it is kind of a tiny property, tiny little block the hospital sits on. Okay, let's see here. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, just want to get past a couple people. Ryan Beans, not a fan of the president. Bear says, I was in a band in 2017 and we played Rex Tillerson's son's wedding reception. We sound checked and had to leave for the wedding. And Rex's protection entourage ran us off the road on the way out. LOL. Oh my goodness. And that's not a great experience, to say the least. Summer says, not desensitizing, but stupid and asleep, just voting party lines. Not doing that anymore. Pamela says America wants Trump gone now. He has ruined our country. The Tahoes reminded Bear of the wedding. Liberty says completely lost due to incompetence. And then we got Christopher. What's going on, Christopher? Thank you for joining the stream today. Christopher says they are installing advanced stem cell, just keeping him alive until another GOP replacement is selected. So yeah, here's where it gets tricky, Christopher, is the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, he's the incumbent governor. The office of the governor of Kentucky does not, by state law, does not have the power, lacks the power to appoint a replacement. The new member or the next office holder must win the special election and get certified until they, so the seat will stay vacant until that happens. So, and that leads to the problem that we've talked about a couple times now, is that nobody will hold that seat at all. If McConnell passes away, it will be until January until that seat gets filled. There will be a vacancy for about 5 or 6 months. And as of right now, McConnell is on the Appropriations Committee. And if he's not there, the Republicans don't have enough votes to pass appropriation bills. And you know what that means? That means if the committee has passed 0 appropriation bills this Congress so far, or this year. If those don't get passed, guess what? That means the government shuts down October 1st. And that's like a month before the election, and that's just going to be absolute chaos for the midterms. So there's a lot of other potential political consequences in regards to this health situation. It's just much more than him. So, and the thing is, we have no information about how he's doing. We basically know nothing. In terms of facts, we know he's here. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so the government will return Monday. They end their 2-week recess for the 4th of July recess. They return on Monday. Chad, okay, what's that diet then? Adam says, USA first, we shall cut off funding for Israel. Yeah, AIPAC needs to register as a foreign lobby for sure. Yeah, it's America first on this channel for sure. Yeah, once again, everybody, hey, if it's your first time on the live stream, make sure to leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We are here reporting live outside of the George Washington University Hospital today, here in Foggy Bottom, Washington, D.C., where Senator Mitch McConnell is entering nearly a full month-long stay of treatment following a June 14th hospitalization. We recently have seen in a released video of him being loaded on a stretcher into the ambulance outside of his D.C. residence. This comes breaking this morning as questions continue to swirl around the longtime Kentucky senator's health and condition, with minimal updates from office staff, from McConnell family, and other GOP personnel other than Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso and GOP political operative and media personality Scott Jennings have all claimed to have around a 20-minute conversation with the senator in the last 3 or 4 days. But we are going to be here live outside of the hospital for the time being today. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. Appreciate you guys being here. Well, Chad, I think that's a pretty bad diet. I would not encourage you to continue that diet. Jane Jones says Mitch is still in the hospital. And Mike says it's a private matter. And that's a good point. So here's, I guess, a question for you guys to kind of chew on a little bit. Public officials, especially big-time public officials, such as high-ranking leadership in the U.S. Senate, how much grace and presidents, right, cabinet secretaries, how much grace / privacy should they be given after a certain period of time when it appears that they are incapacitated to perform the duties of their job in office? You know, should it be like, okay, if, yeah, everyone gets sick every now and then, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have the flu, you're gone a week, you're transparent about it. Okay, take some time, whatever. But then, like, this is coming up on a month now. He's been gone almost a month, and we are nearing a crucial deadline for funding the government. If appropriation bills cannot pass, the government is going to shut down in October. There's no escaping that. And that's 1 month before the midterms, which is a headache, a political headache that GOP does not want to have occur, to say the least. So yeah, how much privacy versus transparency should public officials provide about their health condition, particularly when they are incapacitated from performing the duties of their office that they were elected to, right? They answer to a constituency. So how much how much information are the constituents in the Commonwealth of Kentucky entitled to about their elected officials? We know the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, has released a couple of statements now probing on health details in regards to the senator that have not been fulfilled or answered. As of this time being, we've seen some other GOP health officials, other elected members in the Republican conference sound uncertain about his condition or his status, including Marlin Sutzman of Indiana's 3rd Congressional District, and a couple of other members as well. Thomas Massey doesn't really know what's going on. Nobody really knows what's going on. Yes. So all reporting has indicated that he is here at George Washington. We know this because of the 911 dispatch call that has been released, saying that he was being transported to George Washington. Because if it's not this hospital, then it's either Walter Reed or Howard University. I don't know of any other hospitals around here. And if they found him unconscious and needed CPR, and if he was in cardiac arrest, time was of the essence, I think, and they weren't able they needed to move him somewhere quickly. But no, yeah, reporting has confirmed he is here. That's where he was driven to. Cranky Mullet says, thanks McConnell's dead. And Jim Bean 1907 says, free Israel. Hey, everybody. Yeah, once again, we are live outside of Mitch McConnell's hospital here at George Washington University Hospital, where the Kentucky senator has been hospitalized for coming up on a month now. So we're going to be here live today. A little bit about me. My name is Aulden S. Nance. I have this YouTube channel, independent journalist and media reporter here live in Washington, D.C. We go on site. We go on location where the stuff that you guys are thinking about is happening. A lot of times we're on Capitol Hill. We're engaging with lawmakers, trying to demand the truth and transparency about critical issues. So would love if you guys left the video a like and also hit that subscribe button while you're at it. That's a great way in which you can support the show. Thank you very much for watching the stream today. Jane Jones says, why would Mitch McConnell's wife leave the country and abandon? That's another question. That's another great question, and only adds more concern and uncertainty to the entire situation. From what we've heard is that she was already in China after his condition was, or after she knew about it. But the thing that makes it odd is that she chose to stay in China for several days after she learned about her husband of 35 years, health condition, his severe ICU emergency room diagnosis and condition, and chose to remain in China for several days for a meeting with the Chinese vice president. And in a statement released by Chow's office, that she said the hospitalization did not warrant an immediate return to the United States, which is, I don't think anyone really buys that at all. I mean, purple is the name, is our theme color on the channel. So here, we got our purple suit, and we got our purple gym shorts on, got our shoes and socks, baby. We got the full purple fit. It is Purple Friday. We are live here in Washington, D.C. Super pumped up to be with you guys once again. So that's why I'm wearing purple. Good morning, Sleepy Time video. Hey, what's going on, Sleepy Time, dude? It's wonderful to see you. How's Indiana treating you? Hope you're, missed the Hoosier State. Hope to get home sometime soon. That's my plan. I'm trying to get back to the state here in the near future. Yeah, do a little travel, do some, maybe show you guys some of my hometown. Yeah, as the channel progresses, show you guys some of my home city and home county and other cities throughout Indiana as well. What's going on, Never Give Up? How are you doing? Happy Friday. Thank you for joining the stream. What's going on, Day Hill? Thank you for joining the stream. Mike's getting me a red coat. Yeah, Purple Rain, baby. Yeah, big old Barney, big old Grimace from McDonald's. Everything's purple about me, baby. Yes, sir, Sleepy Time videos. We'll do some touring around Indiana, that's for sure. Frankie Mullet is a little concerned about POTUS. Okay, it's Debrin. Okay, is that proper pronunciation? Kurt says, question for you, bro. What happened? Will happen when government will close down, my opinion, like face consequence. So when the government shuts down in the what happens is it's shut down because there's no more money. They run out of money to pay people pay government employees. So that's how, the doors don't legit lock on the build. Yeah, it's not like going out of business shut down, but it is basically, think of it as like a temporary cease of services for the government. Essential staff will remain, but they'll get back pay, but they're not employees. They don't receive regular government paychecks or their paychecks on time. It often causes a lot of government employees might be paycheck to paycheck. So during that time, they get a second job and don't show up to their government job where they're not getting paid at the moment. They'll eventually get paid. And this can cause trouble at airports. And, there might be a lot of delays at the airport. So there's just there can be a lot of problems when the government shuts down. Sleepy Time says, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Bear says, you think Mitch's wife is a Chinese spy like MTG said she probably was? I don't know about a Chinese spy, but I do think there is something there that, I've said this a couple times before. If my mother or my father or my brother or another relative was hospitalized, I would not be staying in a foreign country for several days after I learned about it. I'd be trying to get home, get to the hospital as quickly as I could. So I think there's something odd. Yeah, there are questions. We have a right to ask questions in regard to that for sure. Yeah, it's creepy, right? It's just not normal human behavior, I'd say. Especially if that person is 84 years old and has a history of already this calendar year of spending 8 days in the ICU. So clearly this isn't a one-time thing. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. So I don't think I'd be spending several days in a foreign country after I learned about my mother being hospitalized or my father or another close relative. Yeah, I think that's just a little weird. So I think it's fair to ask questions. I don't know if she's a spy or not, but there's something creepy going on there. Pamela says, but Trump is spending like there's plenty. Yeah, the debt hasn't reduced at all in the last several years. Debrin. Okay. Debrin as in friend. Okay, so, okay. Gotcha. Ha, Debrin's a spy. Gotcha. Jamie says, can you ask about Mitch McConnell? Jamie says hi, and also asking you ask about raising the federal minimum wage. who would you like me to ask it to? Here we go. All right, Debrin. Glad I got it. Well, Debrin, for pronouncing your name right, I think you should subscribe to the channel, man. Yeah, of course, Jamie. Yeah, we'll once we're back on the Hill next week, we'll try to get some transparency for sure. No, that's my planned question for next week is, yeah, we're going to be asking, especially the senators. The House members, they probably either won't know as much, and it's not as relevant to them necessarily. Like, the question to ask the House members would be, are you concerned if the government shuts down in October because the Senate can't pass appropriations? You know, something like that, rather than, because the House members, they're going to know just as much, if not less, than what senators know about McConnell. Hey, Erdogan, what's going on, brother? Old man, yep, your old man is all purpled out. We're purple maxing in 2026, baby. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Much love. Thank you so much for becoming Awoken. Erdogan, yep, yeah, man, we got to get those subscribers. We got to keep them going. Oli Frun says, hello, folks. What's the score with this channel? So we're here in Washington, D.C. I go live on location of where critical and important events are happening. So, for example, today we are live outside of the emergency room at George Washington University here in Foggy Bottom, Washington, D.C., where longtime Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is nearing a month-long stay in this hospital for a diagnosis that the office will not tell us, will not confirm, and other details have been minimal and pretty small. Yep, yeah, we're almost at 1.2 thousand subs. We're getting there, yeah. Gain up to 1,200, that would be another good goal. Yeah, that would be another good milestone for sure. Trust me, we're doing it brick by brick and day by day. Yes, the purple one. Haha. The purple sovereign, baby. Fun, cool, 7777 says, if you have hidden wealth, you're good. If anything weird comes up, that messes up your plans. Angelique says, what are your thoughts on AI centers? They snuck one in down the road for me, and it's destroying our area. I don't see any politicians worried about the impacts on the environment or the people. I think that they should make this stuff a little easier for the public to digest and be more transparent with what's actually happening at these centers. Because right now, I just don't think many people, what the public, I think, knows about these data centers is that these centers have a reputation for increasing the electricity costs, the energy bills in your area. And that's really kind of it, I think. So I think that they should try to be more transparent about what's going on here. And maybe build them in middle America, right? Or like where there's not a whole lot, and maybe not near major cities. to where, yeah, maybe you can have like data center towns, for example. You know, you have a data center and then everyone who works there, you know, they build a family home because it's really cheap land and inexpensive. And you know what I mean? That's just a quick little idea. But if they were more transparent, I think it would help them a little bit more. Because right now, I just think it's kind of like the boogeyman, you know, it's just kind of scary, and that's really all. It's a good question. Kurt asking, you asked why about LGBT rights and whatnot. Well, that would have been good for good question for June, because that's Pride Month in the United States. Right now, I'm not sure how relevant it would be to some of them. Washington, D.C., very blue state. Blue city, I should say. It's technically not a state. It doesn't have senators or a voting representative for the House of Representatives. They do get 3 electoral votes for president. They get that. But that's really all they have in terms of the political power, per se. What's going on, Nancy? Good morning. Thank you for joining the stream. S1987 says, I just saw on Midas Touch that Mitch McConnell was transferred by ambulance without an oxygen mask, was confirmed by CNN, I believe. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, that video, I think, was released this morning. I saw it too, that he was being, a neighbor took the video and he was being transported by the ambulance. You know, being loaded up in a stretcher into the ambulance. So, yeah, a frightening scene there for sure, for the longtime Kentucky senator. Yeah, doesn't seem to be doing well. And that's, again, everything is speculation because we're not getting any transparency from the office or, yeah, and it's really up to them they could squash all of this quickly. And it would take 5 minutes to do it. You know what I mean? Like, if he's able to have these long, lengthy conversations, then wouldn't you think that he can have a 30-second video reassuring voters in the Commonwealth of Kentucky that he's in good health and able to continue exercising his duties as senator? You'd think so. But right now they're keeping this pretty quiet and in the dark, and it's only leading to more questions about the Kentucky senator. Faraz, good morning. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man, nice to see you again on the stream, dude. You know, I don't know if we have any data centers here in DC. Never really heard of any, so. Yeah, that's. What's up, man?
Who you work for?
I'm an independent journalist. I live stream on YouTube, just doing a little coverage on Mitch McConnell's health out here today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw y'all here yesterday with the flag shorts, and I see you today with the purple one.
Heck yeah, man.
You got the drip.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Would say hi, YouTube, man. Hey, what's going on, man?
All right. Hey, check me. Hey, I'm about to say, check me out on DC Pups R Us. I breed Carne Corso puppies. I have a litter open right now.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a couple of DC viewers, so maybe they'll check you out. All right, man.
The litter sold, but
Thank you, brother. Yep. Thank you, brother. Yeah, good to see you too, Howard. Yeah, I just saw a gentleman there. We got Abraham Lincoln out here. What's going on, Mr. President? Hello, hello, Mr. President. How are you doing?
Sir?
Good. Nice to see you, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln out here outside the George Washington University Hospital. Pretty cool to see the 16th president, you know. Always good seeing our friend Abe, yeah. He's also got shorts on too, so pretty fun, yeah. Aaron Russell says diesel is $7 in Cali. Yikes, that's pretty brutal. That's some pretty brutal prices there. Yeah, hey everybody, just a little reminder, we are here live outside of George Washington University Hospital. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is entering nearly his 4th week as a resident here in the hospital, receiving medical care that we are unaware of what it is exactly. So, because the office has been quite mum and tight-lipped on details in regards to his condition. Excuse me. Shit. Dude, holy shit. I don't know what that was. Damn. Yeah, I almost became a patient here as well after that. But yeah, that's not yeah, that's pretty bad, Aaron. Bear says I paid $3.05 for gas the other day, but it's be back up at $3.25. Yeah, prices are going to fluctuate here. Yeah, let's have a seat for a moment. Yeah, we need transparency. We should demand and deserve transparency. So Kentucky state law, let's say if sometime today Mitch McConnell passed away, let's just say for explaining this to you guys, let's say he passes away today. The governor cannot, under Kentucky law, is not allowed to fill that vacancy, cannot put somebody else in to like continue the term. There has to be a special election and it has to be certified and confirmed. Then the person who wins that election can take the seat. So a lot of people, and including myself, are bringing the point up that if he's incapacitated or dies, there will not be, since they cannot replace that Senate seat, there will not be enough votes on the Appropriations Committee to pass these appropriation bills, and that's to fund the government. So the government will shut down in October, unless if something drastic changes quickly. So that's the problem. So it's not really about the special election, because that's going to take months There's deadlines that have to be met. So like you have to announce the special election, and then you have to give so much time for candidates to announce their candidacy for the special election. The campaigning, you have to get poll sites set up. It's a whole big ordeal to get this set up quickly. So it's going to take months for this seat to get refilled if he does pass away. Let's see. Howard says should be left up to the state legislation. 1987 says, do you believe that would happen during an actual growing war with the U.S.? Yeah, that it's a major concern. And like what have to happen is that there'd have to be some kind of compromise in the for somebody to flip over on the Democrat side to vote yes on the appropriation bill. Yeah, it wouldn't be good, especially with tensions in Iran rising once again. Kenobi 5618 says, thank goodness. Friday. Yeah, man, thank goodness it's Friday. Happy to be here. Happy Purple Friday, everybody. We are live outside of the George Washington University Hospital here in Washington, D.C., where Senator Mitch McConnell continues to receive treatment for an unknown condition. The office has not told us about, has not confirmed any details to the public. It's been very speculative. As of now. Yeah, we're still trying to get more details. We know some GOP leadership and political operatives have claimed to have spoken with McConnell. They've all had a 20-minute conversation with him. But that's really it. Yeah, hasn't really been proof of life. David says, are you going to interview E. Jean Carroll? Maybe if she's in D.C., but right now, I don't know where she is. Yeah, typically when we're out in D.C. or on Capitol Hill, if I see somebody, we'll go up and talk to them. Like we talked, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of who the brick suit guy is. But the brick suit guy got famous because he went to Trump rallies dressed up in like a brick suit, a legit like suit with a bunch of, bricks engraved in it. And we saw him at the Supreme Court last week. So we talked to him. So if we see people, we'll go up to everybody. Yeah, I'm a free speech absolutist. So I do believe in allowing everyone to have a voice. I think the wife has returned, but it was several days after the hospitalization began is when she returned. It wasn't an immediate return either. She was informed of it and stayed in China for several days to have that meeting with the Chinese vice president. Let's see. David says, pretty sure some Epstein victims are around. Yeah, that's always a possibility, especially when the Congress is in session. We've ran into the guy who plays Dwight on The Office, that TV show, The Office. We've ran into him before. I've seen several senators and members of the House on here before. We've talked to a lot of people on the stream. So we're definitely racking up the interviews for sure. But here, so what we're going to do now is we're probably going to depart from the hospital. And we're going to move on from the hospital and we're going to we're just going to go walk around somewhere else in the city and we'll continue commentary. We'll continue chit chatting. We'll continue talking about McConnell's health and whatnot, but we'll just, try to check out some other things here in Washington. Looks like you got a protest that might be beginning over here. Yep. Alrighty, let's do this. All right, everybody, we'll say bye to Mitch. Wish him well. We're going to leave the emergency room. So we're going to get going. Got a little chess game going on here. Oh.
Don't move, Fred.
Like, yeah, right now, like, just look at what this week has been. This has been a really great week of streaming for us. Like, we've consistently, every stream this week has a minimum of 5,000 views. And Tuesday and Wednesday each got over 10,000. So we've been doing very well at picking up viewership, gaining new subscribers, good community building as well. Like we've been having a really good week. Yeah, some super chats as well. Like we're getting our name out there. More people recognize me just walking around Washington, D.C. now. So we're doing something very special here, guys. So appreciate all of you guys for joining me along the ride. I don't know. I'd have to look. Well, I know his daughter deleted all of her social media. I think he has other children, though.
Thank you very much.
Hi. Mm. Yeah, I think the daughter deleted all of that to keep mom on it. See a white monster. Let's get one in the back though. These aren't that cold though. See this one. Hi. Thank you very much. Nice. Just left the 7-Eleven here by Foggy Bottom. Yeah, she said nothing that I've seen about her father. No, it's definitely something. Something's happening. That's very odd. Yeah, this is. And the thing is, since they're not being transparent, it's only adding to speculation and questioning and even conspiracies, even. Because I don't think anyone really believes that he's doing well. I think there is a consensus that we all understand that anybody who is 84, who has been in the hospital for nearly a month now, and that that we know has a history of other medical issues and incidents, is not particularly going to be doing healthy, right? Yeah, he's not going to be doing cartwheels and backflips and reciting the entire Constitution anytime soon. It's just a question of like, can he perform his duties as a senator, which is what really the as the question. All right, yeah, just got our Monster open, guys. Yeah, fueled by Red Bull and Monster Energy on these long streams. Okay, so now this is actually the goodbye to the hospital. All right, everyone say goodbye to the hospital. We may be back sometime soon, but next week Congress gets back in, so we'll probably be on the Hill most of the time. Okay, if audio is out of sync, all right, give me 1 second. I'll fix it. Okay, let's try that. That should do the trick. Thank you for that. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta refresh the page. I do consider it a job because even though right now it's not financially doing what a job would do, it's building towards something that will become financially a job. So I consider a lot of this right now, especially in the early months, as just learning a new sport. Practice makes perfect. And once we start getting more viewers, returning consistently, and all that good, right? People donate more. I get recognized around Capitol Hill more. So it's really I view it as a time. I view it, I go live about 2 hours on average, and we'll do a 2-hour long stream most weekdays, sometimes on the weekends. So I do view it as like opportunity cost, like, what time I need to wake up in the morning. So I'm like at the hospital by the normal time, or where I need to go, if I need to get on the metro or if I can walk there. So I do view it as a job in that sense, knowing that with more time and hard work, it will financially suffice the way a job would. We'll stream if we go 5 times a week, that's about 10 hours of streaming a week. And then it also takes me additional hours for traveling, for thumbnail design, for captions, for uploading clips on social media, for other outreach. So, like right now, maybe it's part-time, like hours, brick and brick, but it is a lot of time and commitment. So thank you, Howard. Yeah, man, we're grinding. And yeah, it's people like you, Howard. It's people like Mud Butters and Z and the Colonel and all of you guys, that are helping me a lot. So I appreciate you guys, your viewership and support by liking the videos and commenting and asking me questions and super chats. And so we're getting somewhere for sure. But here, I was in 7-Eleven for a minute. I want to get to some comments though. Let's see. Andre Chang says, it's actually so funny that people think you don't have an actual job alongside your channel. This dude probably works until 2 a.m. from time to time, LOL. That is based in red pilled. Absolutely. That is accurate. Yeah, sometimes from my day job, they're very flexible with me able to stream in the mornings, or sometimes if there's something breaking news during the afternoon, I'll do my hours just at different times during the day. And a lot of times, sometimes I might be there till 2 a.m. at several occasions. So, the grind never stops. How bad do you want it? Yeah, how bad do we want to save America? So great comment, Andre. Thank you. Here, hang on. Yeah. Let's go over here. Let's see. I don't live in Virginia. I do live in Washington, D.C. Yeah, not in Arlington. My political position, right wing, America First right wing, like Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith. I really like Dave Smith. Dave Smith, he's probably my favorite, well-known media figure to listen to. He's more libertarian. He's a little more libertarian than I am, I'd say. I'd say I'm more kind of conservative maybe than him. But I think he's right about a lot of things. So I really like Dave Smith. I listened to maybe I don't have the time to get the full episode in listening to him, but I'll listen to almost all of his episodes. Going to college, a job. And you're paying for, a lot of times you're paying for college, but sometimes you're like on a scholarship. So like you are getting paid to be there in the sense that they're kind of sponsoring you a little bit. And you have an obligation to pass your class. Yeah, like your work is passing your classes and getting fair grades. Now it's not like a 9-to-5 job, but it's still responsibility. Here we go. How to get across the street there. Let's see. That's right. The day job is very, very kind. A lot of great people that weren't there. Very blessed for them and the position, and my bosses there. So, I'm very blessed when it comes to that. I don't know if there'd be any other job or company in DC that would be this flexible. I don't know if I'd be able to grow the channel like I am. Let's go. Guy thought I was a Ravens fan. Yeah, Baltimore Ravens, purple color there. And maybe we'll have to do a Friday. Yeah, we'll have to go up to Baltimore one day and stream from there. Stream from that city. I've been up to Baltimore a couple times. You just got to be a little careful up there. I'd say it's a little more troublesome than DC. And I'm not as familiar with it, so I just have to be a little more cautious in general where I'm going up there. I disagree. Independent 2086 started the channel with a political goal in mind as well. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, happy Friday. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yep. All right, caught up on comments. There we go. Yeah, like I went to a Ravens preseason game a couple years ago up there in Baltimore. I think I lost connection. Did I lose connection, y'all? Hey, everybody. All right, here we go. Got a... all right, everybody, please like the eagle sent from Angela. Thank you very much for the eagle. I appreciate you for that eagle and that gift. Thank you very much, everyone. Please like that gift. Appreciate your support to the show. There we go. Thank you very much. Yeah, very nice to meet you today. Thank you for hanging out with us on the stream. SFK says everyone really rich should donate. Angela's trying to tell us she's rich. There we go. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, but yeah, we're trying to get some stuff ready for August recess and travel. Yeah, we're going to try to go to some of the swing states and swing districts and cover some of these candidates that are at risk of losing their seats and talk to some challenger candidates. Also do streams from some different cities. That would be a lot of fun too. All right. Hey, everybody. All right, everybody. We got a $5 super chat from Howard, 6497. Everyone, please like that. Leave it a heart as well. Thank you very much for your support to the show, Howard. You're a real one, man. Thank you very much, dude. That's always great seeing you in the chat, seeing you on the stream. Wonderful to see you, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, glad you're interested in politics. Glad you're enjoying learning about DC and how our Congress works, and that glad you're also awoken and that you demand transparency and accountability from the United States government.
Nigga, this is, and then I wake up.
Yeah, Howard is the man. Everyone, please like that $5 super chat from the man, Howard. Thank you very much, brother. What are your thoughts on Israel First Republicans, which are pretty much all of them? Yeah, we want America First Republicans in there instead. We want more Thomas Massey's, in there that are fighting for our country. And like I've said this several times, we have a lot of problems in America, and that we got to help make sure those are taken care of first, I think. That's our money. We need that money for our communities and our schools and our roads. We should come first. Here we go. Yeah, thank you, Howard. All right. Oh gosh, I stumbled in at DuPont Circle, actually. I agree, SFK, yeah. I'm like Miriam Adelson, a Israeli mega donor. She helped unseat Thomas Massey a couple of months back in May. Paul Singer, another one. Yeah, you have groups like AIPAC and the Republican Jewish Coalition also donated millions of dollars to Ed Gallerine, Thomas Massey's opponent. Uh, so yeah, they definitely use money as a weapon in politics. Hey everybody, if it's your first time on the live stream, make sure to leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We're here walking around DuPont Circle here in Washington, D.C. We're going to try and catch a metro. See if we can get back. Sorry, head back to my day job a little bit. We'll stay on the stream though for a little bit longer. We'll give you guys the full 2 hours per usual. Yeah, around a little before 10 and a little around noon. It seems to be a great spot for everyone to tune in. All right. I want you to go vegan. Join the Animals Party. Sign up at PETA.org. Huh. PETA. Want you to go vegan. What's going on, man? And damn, boys, it's a hot day out here today. But we're grinding. Yeah, man, grind never stops. We will never quit walking. It can be 135 degrees and we'd still be out here. Maybe not without the suit jacket on, but okay, here, let's get to some comments though. Well, so back to the donations is that, it's like, let's say somebody with a lot of money just opened up like their own TV studio and they could just make their own ads, you know what I mean? So like the money, the government can't really stop the money, or the donations. Independent 2086 says some Republicans wear Israeli flags in their Congress, and they have an Israeli flag in front of their offices on the building we paid for. Yeah, there's several members of the U.S. Congress to where that is the case. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we were outside of Kat McCormick's office. She's a congresswoman from Florida. I think as of last time we were there, she had an Israeli flag outside of her office. Angela says, I personally think we should cut off aid to all countries and take care of our own, our infrastructure, our people, and pay down the debt. Yeah, that's just ballooning. It's been ballooning out of control forever now, but now it's especially a problem because now the dollar is just being devalued like it's nothing. Yeah. The currency is just weakening in real time. That makes it so much harder to save up for like a home or other large expenses. Makes it almost not worth trying in some cases, in some people's situations.
The new hire that we had.
There was two new hires. She was her.
Yeah. Little the circle in DuPont Circle. Little fountain. Feels cool right here. Yeah, just a reminder, now we've made it to DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C. If you're just now joining the stream, we began the stream outside of George Washington University Hospital, where longtime Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell continues to be hospitalized at the location. We have moved on, though. We're heading closer back to Capitol Hill, but we're still really far away, though, so we got a little bit left. Yeah, I'm gonna need to find a metro or something here.
Sir, you know a man in purple will never hurt you.
Yep. Yeah. Peace, baby. All right, so we're going to keep going. Yep, that's right. Independent 2086 says, why does vegan upset you, bro? It doesn't upset me. I was just kind of reading the sign. Rum Runners 360 says AI slop and PETA, a match made in heaven. That's pretty funny. Chris says both parties are trash, not going to lie. Independent says all conservatives are Israel first. That's why I can never vote for one. Woot asked for my opinion on Israel. Yeah, I think we should put America first. I don't think that we should be funding them anymore. They seem to not be in a serious debt like the United States are. And ultimately, we need to prioritize our citizens first, our citizens' health, education. Look at the reading scores for some of these cities. Man, yeah, these kids in high school are reading at, 5th, 6th grade levels. That's a major problem. Something that money should be going towards for our education of our children. Healthcare for people living on the edge, right? We need to make sure our citizens are taken care of first. It's not a hate view of hate. It's that this is our country. Yeah, like it's the only logical answer, I think. Sometimes you gotta run across the street. Root says he's taking a shit on Israel. Hey, what's going on, Ray? Yeah, nice to see you, Ray Blue. Thanks for joining the stream, man. It says, yes, they're reading at fifth grade level, but still graduate high school and are not held back. Right, yeah. SFK says, I don't know why Americans get such high school debt and most of the time don't know much about what's going on elsewhere in the world. Hey, what's going on, Swiss? Yeah, dudes, congrats to Swiss for making it to the final 8. Yeah, they got a tough one against Argentina coming up, but nice to see you, Swiss. Congratulations, man. Yeah, happy for your team. Thank you, Nova. Yeah, nice seeing you on the stream today. Appreciate you being here. Vertigon says I was going to call you the Lavender Amendments, but I don't. But I think that name was already. Huh. Yeah, that's. Let's avoid that name then. Let's just say, good call, Vertigon. Yeah, I think that's probably correct, SFK. Yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe we can do that for content one day. Just have a map and ask people point to where Iran is on the map. That would be pretty funny, honestly. Hell, that might be a great idea, actually. Yeah. Yeah, let's, honestly, yeah. You want to look into getting a big old poster board. Let's get a big old poster board and just have like, yeah, Southern, Western, Middle East, South Asia, yeah, Asia on a map, or even it can be a global map and just say point to Iran or point to a certain country. That would be fun content to do. It would be fun for citizens, yeah. Or it wouldn't have to be Iran necessarily, but sometimes civic-based questions are always fun to ask. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but Fox News, they'll usually do a fun little segment where they go to the beach. Yeah, they'll go to like a beach in Florida or like Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, for example, or just some kind of beach with a bunch of, where a bunch of younger people are. And they'll ask them American history, civic-based questions. And it's kind of funny because most of them never say the correct answer, or they're not even particularly close either. So. Got the Swan House right here. Man. All right, SFK, make sure you subscribe to the channel before you get going, though. That you are subscribed. Yeah, have a great day to you as well. All right, there we go. Thank you very much, SFK. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, guys, yeah, I think we got a good, yeah, it's been a really great stream today. So thank you all for being here. Happy Purple Friday once again. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure you have hit that subscribe button for sure. You'll definitely want to make sure you're here for future episodes. Additionally, if you're active in political debate and discourse, make sure to hop in my channel's Discord. It's basically a big group chat for the YouTube channel where they're debating, sending goofy memes, having solid political discussion as well. So you're more than welcome to join that as well. You can find the link to our channel in the channel description and bio. Okay, all right. Rim Runner says, here, let's see. Aulden, I have been here for a while, but under a different name. I can't sub. What did I just hit? Oh, it would touch up my face. Makes me look a little cuter. Okay, whatever. I can't sub because we disagree on the fundamentals, but I'll always swing by for enlightenment from Bear. Awesome, dude. Well, you should still subscribe so you know when I'm going live, at least. We don't have to agree on anything, but if you still enjoy the channel and hanging out, at least you'll know when I go live. And plus, I'm a free speech absolutist, and even though we disagree, I'll still always allow you to have a voice on the channel. So, not many other right-wing channels allow that, I think, or maybe are as tolerant. Yeah, a little French bar. Okay, so we got a question from Ray here. Aulden, what are your thoughts on section? So students move to the next grade to stay with peers even if they aren't at basic proficiency. Well, I know there's they'll hold students back sometimes. Especially at the younger ages when like if a kid gets held back in first grade, then ultimately it's not the end of the world, right? You know, they're young. I just think it's, what you don't want though is like a 12-year-old to be, I don't know, what would that be, third grade? Yeah, third grade, and maybe, like when there's several years that differentiates, then that could be a problem, I think. But one year or even 2 years, I think it's kind of normal. And maybe at a certain point, they might feel a little embarrassed or ashamed, so maybe they'll lock in on their studies that way. Jamie asks, are they dismantling the area in front of the White House? Yeah, they tore down the East Wing. What's going on, Bob Cox? Thank you for the star, Rum Runner. I appreciate you. Yeah, Ray Blue is correct. Yeah, Super Chat starts at $1. $1. Yeah, it's a great point, Ray. Yeah, you make a great point there. Because, yeah, if people can't read or write, then there's a lot of things you can't do in society. What's going on, man? Benjamin Garcia, what's going on, dude? Yeah, it's Purple Day. We got purple on today. Man, I have sweat through this entire thing, though. This is not good. Here, 1 second, everybody. All right, sorry, y'all. Yeah, I just had to check the map, make sure I was going in the right direction still. So yeah, we want to start heading back, which it is almost 2 hours. We'll stay on a couple extra minutes today since it's Friday. Yeah, you're right about that, Ray. Definitely need, yeah, and the thing is, this is probably the worst time of the year for the summer heat as well. What's going on, Carly? Thank you for joining the stream once again. Nice to meet you the other day. Hey, everybody, if you're brand new to the stream, make sure to leave the video a like. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We're in our we're walking around a DuPont Circle area here in Washington, D.C. right now. Let's get our Versace's back on, get our Versace vision. Yeah, finally got a little bit of a breeze. Holy shit. Needed this for a long time. Carl8909 says, I thought the blacks in D.C. would not put up with Trump, no protest. In France, they would have burnt the country down. Whoa. That's a why, yeah. Yeah, there really hasn't been, other than no King's protest, there really hasn't been a unified opposition to the president and the city. What's going on, man? And Ray Blue says, anyone in the chat want to buy an old ice cold lemonade for Aulden? Super chat starts at $1. There you go, man. Yeah, brick by brick, baby. Every super chat counts. A lot of political people are funded by super PACs. I'm funded by super chats. That's the difference between me and the establishment here in Washington. I fight for you guys, not the big corporations or the other establishment institutions. I fight for you, the American people. Transparency, accountability, and becoming awoken. Says I'm leaving. Carl says I'm leaving the country. Congressional Republicans get control again. That and claims they're worthless. Yes, sir, Ray Blue. Yep. Yeah, funded by you guys. Super chats, baby. That's what keeps us going. All righty, everybody. I will say let's say on a couple more minutes. And then we'll probably get going for the day. Yeah, we'll probably let everyone get on to their weekend. We may be on this weekend. Who knows? You never really know. We're just going to have to see, but it's been a very strong stream today. Yeah, it's been fun. Fun once again hanging out with you guys, getting to see y'all throughout the day. Once again, it's always great chatting with you guys here in Washington. Oop, we got something up here. Whoa. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Supreme Council 33 degree, museum library. Whoa, okay. The Freemason, I did not know this was here.
He doesn't talk to me. He doesn't try to socialize with me.
That's pretty, did not know this was here. That is insane. Huh. No, it's people are trying to rush into the Scientology buildings right now. That's what they're doing. Yeah, not Freemasonry. Yeah, they probably do. That's for sure. They probably got some AC in there, but no, we're going to next metro spot we find. We'll sign off, and I'll metro back to the day job. Chastelson. Yeah, we are kind of near the White House. Carl says, voted for Bush. I'm not a Dem. And says the current GOP are not Republicans, really. We're going to make it. There we go. Carl says his parents live in D.C. How long have they lived here for? Do they enjoy living in the city, I suppose? but here, I think we're pretty close to the White House. Let's see how close we are. Hi. Moving to Eastern Shore soon. Gotcha. Okay. One sec. Thank you. Yeah, I had to check something real quick. But all right, guys. Well, we're still a little ways from the White House, and we're probably not going to head there anyway today on the stream. We'll maybe check that out some other time. But I think right now, we are going to sign off for the day here. Thank you all for hanging out with me this Purple Friday. Super glad and thrilled to be with you guys here. A lot of fun, ton of fun today. Yeah, we got to head inside somewhere. But once again, main topic today about Senator McConnell. Once again, and we will continue demanding transparency and accountability. And next week, when the members return back on the Hill, we're going to be asking them about it. So, okay, everybody. Well, enjoy your weekend. Happy Purple Friday. And you have been awoken with Aulden. Much love, everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you Monday, probably.